In a world where fairways meet the airwaves, where birdies and banker collide, welcome to the show that takes you beyond the clubhouse and onto the green. This is Balls and Tees, your passport to the golfing universe, where every swing tells a story and every putt has its punchline. Get ready to step onto the last greens and dive into the world of divots, drives, and delightful banter.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the one and only Balls and Tees. It's your boy out here, the one and only Tony Tone, the magician, the boy with a lot of flow, and I am a classic man. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, for those who have been following us from the get-go, I just want to say a huge thank you to you and for bringing in more of your friends to listen to the one and only Balls and Tees. I always say this is the only podcast that you ever really, really want to listen to, whether it's day, afternoon, or night, because we go international. We're not just a local podcast. We do things everywhere, every day. So, for those who just started listening to us, I just want to say you're going to have yourself a lot of fun. But before the fun starts, I know in Gauteng it could be cloudy right now, wherever you are, because there's just been a lot of storms for the past 2 weeks and they still continue. So, please just make sure you keep safe. If you see any hailstorm, make sure you park under a covered parking. You don't want to face the big rocks that's been falling from the sky. But nonetheless, I just want to say, listen, make sure that you grab yourself an ice cold bucket of water. I won't even say a glass of water. I won't say a bottle of water. I will say a bucket of water because I'm about to make sure that you are heated up. You'll be sweating just from listening to this conversation that I'm about to have with my guest tonight. And guess what? Speaking of my guest is already eager to start engaging with me, but let me do this. I'm going to give you a 2 minute break to make sure that you fill up that ice cold bucket. And then when we come back, I will definitely be introducing our guest for tonight. And you're going to have a lot of fun. Stay engaged. Make sure you don't even move from where you are up until the following break. So let's go for that 2 minute break and then make sure that we get ourselves some refreshments.
In a world where fairways meet the airwaves, where birdies and banker collide, welcome to the show that takes you beyond the clubhouse and onto the green. This is Balls and Tees, your passport to the golfing universe, where every swing tells a story and every putt has its punchline. Get ready to step onto the last greens and dive into the world of divots, drives, and delightful banter.
Ladies and gentlemen, still another welcome to you and a huge thank you for continuing to follow us. This is the one and only Tony Tone, the classic man, the boy with a lot of play. Yes, this is the classic man. They call me classic because I keep it real on the golf course. I keep it real on this podcast. And as I said, it's going to be another hot episode. My guest is eagerly waiting. Listen, I don't even know where to start to introduce this man because from the get-go, he has been following us. He has been chatting to me on the golf course. And the last conversation that we had was to say, listen, say I need to have you on my podcast because I always see you on the golf course. I see you playing. I see you engaging with people. Very social person, very down to earth. And today he is joining us for the last episode of this year up until we come back in January, and hopefully he'll be joining us sometime next year as well to tell us about the updates that's been happening in the space. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further delays, allow me to introduce the one and only Ntate Bonolo Mudise. Re Modise le kae, Ntate?
Good evening, Tony. How are you doing? Good evening to your listeners. Good evening to the podcasters. And I'm so excited to be here, man. Are you well?
Awesome stuff. No, Ntate Modise, everything is good on my side. I'm excited to have you here. If you can see me right now, I'm smiling from ear to ear because you know you are one person who's constantly every time we're on the golf course, you're like, hey, Tony, what's happening in the next episode? So I'm very much excited now because you are in the episode now, and let's find out what's happening in your space. But before I do that, listen, I'm not good at introducing people, right? So I tried a bit to just say, you know what, this is who Nolomudise is. He's one of our followers. He's a Social golfer is one of our friends, if I can put it that way, in the golfing space. And I don't think I did justice. Perhaps if you can just reintroduce yourself, let our audience know who Bonolo Mudise is, what's happening in your space, and for the most, let's get an understanding of how you got into this beautiful addictive sport that a lot of people are actually suffering from. I think this is the best addiction that people are suffering from. I don't know if you share the same sentiments as well.
Yeah, no, I do definitely. Yeah, like I said, good evening to you, Tony, and the listeners. Look, guys, you guys have been doing a great job. I think the podcast has been going on for a few years now, and I've been following you guys, and I see that you're growing. Well done, and keep up the good work,
Mm.
right? As a
Thank you,
bit
sir.
of intro, my name is Bonolo Modise, a boy from Northwest, a small dorpy called
Mm.
Leeudoringstad, in the Kenneth County district. Yeah, that's where I'm from. I'm a father of three. I'm married to,
Mm.
my high school sweetheart over the last 17 years. And by profession, I'm an accountant. I studied as an accountant and practiced.
Mm.
Later in life, I joined the banking industry, and I've been a transaction banker for the last few years now, working for one of I
Mhm.
think, the largest bank by assets and value in Africa. And I look after
Mm.
corporate clients in the mining and metal sector. So that's what I do as a profession on a day to day.
Awesome.
But of course, as you mentioned, I'm an avid golfer. I love the sports. I'm like addicted, as you say. I make sure that I at least do a round or two in a week, and I've got a few clubs that I play
Mm.
with. So I've been a consistent golfer
Mhm.
since around 2017. But before that, I mean, a bit
Mm.
of history. I got introduced to golf very early in life. I think in my mid-teens, when
Mm.
I was back home, there used to be a small municipal course, and we started off by
Mm.
almost like manning the greens or manning the hole. So they used to have these oiled sand greens and not your grass greens, but
Mhm.
they used oil sand. So you needed a small boy or someone to actually look after that green. As and when golfers come
Mm.
through, they would chip on, putt, but someone had to scrape that oil sand so that the next
Mm.
four ball comes in and they find the green in a good condition. So yeah, that's where I got introduced. I think you could say that
Mhm.
that was my first job, actually my first paying job. I got paid two rands, which was still in a bank note back in the
Mm.
90s. Um, yeah, and I moved on to become a caddy in my
Mm.
teens, but not really knowing what I was doing. The main job was just to
Mhm.
carry a bag and look for the ball.
Yeah.
Fast forward a few years later, when I was here in Joburg around 2007, 8, the company I worked for at that time had an excursion to go to Zebula. And that's where I got an opportunity
Mhm.
to buy my first set of clubs, my beginner set, and went
Mm.
on to try the sports out. Um, Coming back, I never really had people to play with. I used to play like one or two rounds a year, not even a round, just
Mm.
going to Birchfield or Centurion Golf Village to hit some balls. But
Mm.
the bug beat me in 2017, where I found, I actually managed to convince some of my friends to say, guys,
Mm.
don't you want to just start this sports? Let's start playing. Let's form a four ball and just play regularly. And ever since
Mhm.
then, and some of the guys, Cops,
Mm.
Rampai, a Flank. So those are the guys that we started playing with 2017 or so. And we even formed
Oh
a
yeah.
golf club that is still in existence today called Golf Buddies out of that passion. And ever since, my guy, like I said, I've got a few clubs that I play with, maybe about three or four
Mhm.
group of
Mm.
good guys that have played very different, diverse groups of guys, and I'm loving it. It's a beautiful sport. I
Mm.
can never play golf for anything.
Wow.
Okay.
Benola, I have to say that's very, very colorful for you to say that you started off by actually manning the greens, and it wasn't really a green, it was oil sand, like you said. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how many golfers. I mean, I don't know how many people actually right now I understand what you're talking about, because many a times, especially people in our communities, they just used to normal greens on the golf course. So for you to have started engaging with the sport at such a young age, and before it started being revolutionized up until the time that you actually started playing, which, like you said, around 2017. Now, I want to find out from you, Tate. When it comes to, you mentioned that you used to go to Centurion Golf Village or Theshfield to hit a couple of
Yeah.
balls once in a while.
Yeah.
Since you started playing, uh, have you consulted with a professional coach, or was it something that you just picked up from all the years that you were cading or all the years that you were exposed to golfers in the golf course?
Yeah, look, Tony, golf is a very difficult sport, right? So I
Mm,
realized, while I used to go to the range on my own and doing stuff, hitting balls. And I realized that actually, when you start on a
mm,
wrong footing and you do the wrong things, it's very difficult for you to reverse that. So I had to consult a coach. I saw one coach at the World of Golf in Woodmead. They gave me a few lessons.
mm,
I've done a few lessons with songs of Dig Golf at Kailami. Is a very good
mm,
coach and a very good friend of mine. So I
mhm,
had to go and make sure that I fix a couple of things. I understand why the ball is, shanking or hooking. What is the difference between a shank and a fade, or a hook and a draw? Those type of things. And I guess
mm,
it's very important that you get someone who can guide you with a lot of basics. Golf has got
mm,
so many things. I mean, you think standing on top of a ball and hitting it's as simple as that. But there's so many things that you gotta take into account: how you hold the club, your grip, the stance, how you gotta ground your feet, what happens with your hips and your shoulders, your hands. It's
mm,
it's a very complex sport. So. I would advise anyone, and when I speak to new golfers, beginners, I always advise them to say, look, get a coach, get a few lessons, go hit the balls at the range, be
mhm.
comfortable, and don't rush to get onto the course, because many of us we ended
Yeah.
up rushing to get onto the course. And when you are playing on an open course where other players are playing who may be advanced and
Mm,
more mature than you, it causes frustration for some of those players to say you're delaying the field and you don't know the rules. So I would say for me,
mm,
it was very important that I consult with a professional and I get to know how, what is the rules, how to play the balls, whether in any type of condition. And I also
mm,
had to make sure that when I get my clubs after my beginner set, I get proper clubs,
mhm,
which are fitted to my own capability and not just any other. Yeah.
mm. No, no. I really like the fact that you mentioned that golf has so many aspects to it. I mean, you spoke about rules, you spoke about hooks, draws, fades, shanks. Now, I want to understand when it comes to your own personal game. I mean, there's the long game, there's the chipping, there's the putting. Which one would you classify as one that you regularly work on, and why is it that you're constantly working on this particular aspect of your game?
Look, yeah, so there's a saying that nothing, I mean, all of these aspects never work all together in sync at the same time, right? So sometimes you're driving well,
Mm,
but you're chipping bad, or you can't putt. So for
mm,
me, look, I think one thing that I've mastered is just getting off the tee, right? My driver is
mhm,
working. I had to get a new driver, which is really working well most of the time. I can't say all the time, right? But most of the time, the driver is
mhm.
working. I've got distance that is decent. If it's not
Yeah.
straight, you find yourself in the woods. But I mean, things like getting ladies off the tee, those are things of the past. I don't struggle from that. I think look, I mean, we always look forward to getting ladies' drinks from the gents. We know that people struggle.
Yeah.
So for me, the two things that I would say, I
Mm,
always and I need to start working on. I always think I should, but I don't think I dedicate enough time. It's putting
mhm,
and
mhm.
just the approach shots. And when you're talking approach shots, you're talking your iron play, right? From whether
Yeah.
you're talking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, around those, all of those
Mhm,
irons. Then and chipping is doing well. I mean, chipping is just like my driving. I don't really struggle that much. Of course, we do have off
ouch.
days where nothing is working, but For me, if
Mm,
I can get my iron play, and if I can spend a lot of time and go back to a professional on on how to play my irons and how to putt. I mean, putting
mm,
on its own has got so many things. Things like the lie.
mhm,
Is it an uphill, downhill putt? Where is the green
mm,
sloping? How's the grass? Is it
mm,
well cut? Is the greens firm or soft? So all of those things really you need to consider them as you are lining up your putt. And I think for me,
mm.
if you don't do if you don't putt well, that's where you lose your strokes, right? You
Yeah,
can get onto the green in
true.
regulation and you can chip well, get out of the bunkers. But if you can't putt and you end up three putting, four putting, it really kills your game. And I mean, if I look at my golf, I've been playing for so many years.
Yeah.
I've never broken 80. I've got one eagle. So I've been playing
Hmm.
a lot of 80s, 81s. My games is
Mm,
generally around 80s, 89, 85. But there's a lot of
yeah.
92s and 95s as well, right? And I think
Mm, mm,
if you when you plan your golf, you gotta think of what is it that is critical for me to cut down strokes, move me from 80 to
yeah.
79. And that's very important. And you
Mm,
have to work hard on that.
hmm.
Yeah.
When you're speaking about scoring, I mean, it just triggered something in my mind because I actually wanted to ask you a question to say, okay, I mean, you've played for so long, you understand your weaknesses, you understand your strengths on the golf course. But now, when it comes to measuring your progress in relation to where you come from and where you'd like to see yourself. Obviously, as social golfers, a lot of people would say, listen, I do not see myself turning into a pro, but I just enjoy the company that I have with all the other golfers around me. Now, how do you then personally measure your progress? Would it be based on your score? Would it be based on your handicap? Would you base it maybe on the friendships or relationships that you form around the golf course?
Yeah, look, so golf it encompasses a whole lot of things, right? It talks to
Mm,
the game itself, how you play, and
mhm,
and 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 everyone wants to play good. Everyone wants to play well. And I think for me, the fact that over the years I managed to move my handicap from the 20s to the
mm,
mid-teens around 15, 14, and now my handicap is sitting
mhm.
nicely at around 9.3, and it's hovering between 9 and 10, 10.5, 9.5. That's where
Ouch.
I'm currently sitting and comfortably, but it takes time, and golf has no
Mm,
therefore, right? You play a few bad rounds, you find yourself sitting with a 12, 13 handicap, uh, and you
mhm.
have to work back and do that. So for me, playing well on the course, right, is very
Yeah.
important. That's how I feel like I'm making progress. But you mentioned something around the company you keep, the people that you play with, right? I play with many
Mm,
people from different backgrounds, and I enjoy just interacting with people, knowing people, and just building relations with people, whether it's friends or it's business associates or clients, and that's what I
mm.
enjoy, right? And you would know
Yeah.
the amount of time and the fun that people have at the 19th hole. We always look forward to it, to say that's where you get to relax, and obviously there's a lot of banter that goes
Yeah.
on there, but it's always fun, you know.
Mm,
And golf is golf. After every round, you feel like I want to come back, I want to work on this and that, and you look forward to your
true.
next round. So that's how it has been for me over the couple of years.
Mm. Awesome stuff. I like the fact that you mentioned the 19th hole. You mentioned people from different backgrounds as well, because the one thing I would like to understand from your side, Ntate say, especially for those who are new to the sport or for those who are looking to get into the sport, is just to give us a description of saying what would you say is your perfect day on the golf course. Obviously, like you said, some days things just don't work out, and even if things that don't work out, the company is still there. The 19th hole is still there. Something else could just be working out. So on your end, if your golf is not golfing on that day, would you say is your worst day, or would you say, you know what, regardless of how I'm playing, I look forward to engaging with more and more people and then just turning this whole bad day into something great?
No, exactly that, Tony. Exactly that. we all know as golfers, you don't always have a good round of golf, but you have
Mm,
to look at the bigger picture and realize that the sport is way more than just you scoring good, right? So you will have your
mm,
days where you're struggling to even make one par. But I mean, engaging with people and having fun. And, we always forget to have fun on the course. We are hard on ourselves. And we must always remember that we are not
mm,
pros. We're here to have fun. And golf
yeah.
being as brutal and honest as a sport, it reminds you all the time that,
Mm,
listen, you are not in control here, right? Anything can affect you, whether
mm,
it's thought or on whatever, a call or an email coming in, or you thinking of work, or you thinking of whatever that could disturb you at that moment. So the idea
yeah.
is that when you're on the course, enjoy the nature, enjoy the company that you are with, whether it's familiar
Mm-hmm,
people that you always play with, or sometimes you play with new people that you are meeting for the first time. Allow
mm,
yourself to enjoy the company, get to know those people, and also, be that person that people will always remember to say, this is the kind guy that we met, and he's a good guy, solid guy.
yeah.
And don't be that guy who's always swearing at yourself, not let alone other people, but just as yourself. And, the joke that
Yeah.
says, how do you know there's a bad golfer on the course? You will always hear them
Mm,
them calling their names and swearing at themselves. Hey, Modisa, you idiot. Hey, Modisa, you that. so, so you
mm,
have to limit all of that. And golf is more than just technical and physical. It's also mental, right?
mm,
And you have
yeah.
to have the right mindset, be positive, and take every stroke, every shot. Forget about your mishaps with the previous hole or the previous shot, and just enjoy.
Mm-hmm,
Looking forward to just having a relaxed time with the guys. Whether you won Wafa Wafa or a trophy, it doesn't matter.
mm.
You had a good day on the course. Yeah.
N- No, 100%. Dr. Modise, I'm going to ask you to please allow us to pause for about 3 minutes, and then when we get back, we're just going to delve deeper into this conversation because I can hear the excitement that you actually have in your voice when you're speaking of golf, and you're thinking of so many things to say. This man just asked me, what's my perfect day? I mean, it could be the shot. It could be the shot on the 19th.
Exactly.
It could be the conversation with other people. So I would actually like us to delve deeper into this conversation after a 2 minute break. And then yeah, let's discuss how you then marry the two worlds, your two worlds, which is your work environment as well as the golf, because a lot of people would presumably say that the biggest boardroom in the world is on the golf course. So I also want to get your inputs around that to say, has it been like that for you, or is golf solely for relaxing for you? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go for that 2 minute break. And then when we come back, we will be delving deeper into the conversation. Please make sure that you go and refill that 5 liter or 10 liter ice cold bucket of water because listen, guys, you can hear that Ntate Bonolo Modise is enjoying his time with us, and we are also having fun. I mean, this man here, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, he plays golf religiously. Yes, he said once or twice, but he doesn't mind playing today and tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, as long as the company around him is what he's looking for at that time. So let's go for the 2 minute break. And then when we come back, we will be engaging more with Mr. Modise.
Invisible Ink Consulting, your gateway to financial success. We specialise in providing the best solutions to manage your finance and accounting, ensuring a better life for you and your business. Our expert team offers top-notch accounting and tax consulting services tailored to various industries, including but not limited to engineering, medical practitioners, in construction, non-profits, events management, attorneys and financial services. Experience the power of our best analytics, backed by a commitment to our clients and a high level of knowledge. At Invisible Ink Consulting, we strive to deliver the best service you can get, making your financial journey seamless and rewarding. Choose Invisible Ink Consulting for a brighter financial future. Your success our priority. Please visit us at www.invisibleinc.co.za to reach us. www.invisibleinc.co.za.
In a world where fairways meet the airwaves, where birdies and banker collide, welcome to the show that takes you beyond the clubhouse and onto the green. This is Balls and Tees, your passport to the golfing universe, where every swing tells a story and every putt has its punchline. Get ready to step onto the last greens and dive into the world of divots, drives, and delightful banter.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're still tuned in to the one and only Balls and Tees. Like I said, this is the last episode for the year 2025, and I'm making sure that it's blazing hot because I've got the one and only Bonolo Mudise as my guest. And this conversation is just, it's been slowly building up. Now the temperature is on 150 degrees. We are about to get to 300 degrees. It's melting degrees. I hope you have that bucket of water with you because you are about to sweat. So let me not waste any more time, and then let me welcome Mr. Modise back on the line. Mr. Modise?
Yes, Tony, I'm still here, my guy.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. I really appreciate it. So before we went on the break, we spoke about your perfect day on the golf course, right? So I just want to do a follow-up on that to say, obviously, listen, you mentioned that you are a transactional banker and you are an accountant by professional, which basically means that you're very analytical when it comes to doing whatever you do in your space. Now, when it comes to your role when it comes to your role as a transactional banker, relationship building, I believe, is very key. And like I said before the break, a lot of people always say that the golf course is the biggest boardroom there is in the world. I've heard a lot of people saying that they're closing deals on the golf course and all these things. Now, I just want to find out from you, if you were to take the physical boardroom in the office and compare it to the golf course, which one would you say is your most ideal or most preferred space to conduct business?
I feel like you know the answer already to that, right? Look, I mean, we golfers are always saying, a bad day on the golf course is still much better than any day in the office, right? So, golf gives you so much. Playing golf, you get to know people better in a very relaxed, environment or setting. And golf being, the gentleman's sport that it is, it allows you to assess characters, as you're building relationships with clients or business associates or friends or family. You get to see how they react to various type of situation, right? So you get to learn about, their character, to say, how do they manage adversity? How resilient are they in terms of taking the bad and the good breaks out of golf? You get to see whether they are patient people or very impatient, and because in golf you are your own referee, right? You then get to see how people behave in an environment where they are not, or there's no referee, or there's no one looking over their shoulder, right? So you have to almost self-regulate and be able to call penalties on yourself, whether anyone is watching or you're on your own, right? So when you're observing someone that you are learning and you are hoping to get into business type of transaction with, you are able to gather all that information, to say, how do they solve problems from just their course management and how they go about making sure that you save a point or you don't get frustrated by going out of bounds, and golf, I love golf, the sport of golf, in a sense that it allows you to show respect to others, but also not only to fellow human beings, but it allows you to demonstrate how you show respect to the environment, right? And we know how in golf we always talking about leave the course in a way that you would like to find it, right? Whether it's repairing pitch marks when you're on the green or raking bunkers after you've played your shot, making sure that you maintain pace of play for the people behind you, so that on its own, it just demonstrates
Mhm.
how orderly of a person you are and what consideration you have for the environment for the other. So it's all of
Mm.
those things when you put them all together, right? To
Mm.
say, how does this person, after having such a bad round of golf, does he
Yeah.
get into his car and drive home, or does he still come, back after showering to the 19th hole and having a chat and a conversation with
Mm.
other golfers, irrespective of how bad the golf was? So you are able to bundle all of those things together and get the
Mm. Mm.
intelligence that you want that will help you with relationship
Yeah.
building to say, out of the 5 hours that I've spent with this man on the or this lady on the course, can I really
Mm.
build a partnership with this person? Can I really trust them
Yeah.
with some of the decision making or with my business? Or it really teaches you that almost like your diplomacy, being able to have impactful conversations, build trust, build rapport,
Mm.
and see how people just react. And out of that, with those insights, then you can go back to the boardroom and sign on the dotted line to say, yes, I'm comfortable, I can trust this person, and they are really
Mm.
honorable. Yeah, yeah.
No, no, no. 100%. I like the fact that you mentioned something very, very critical to say that you spend about 4 to 5 hours. So you gather a lot of information about a particular person that you're playing with. And now, with that being said, I mean, in the office, obviously, if you are to meet with a client, whether it's outside the office or in your office, time is very limited. And obviously,
Mm.
both of you have to maintain a certain level of professionalism. You're not in your relaxed element at that point in
Yep,
time. Now,
yep.
with that in mind, Mr. Modisa, I just want to find out if you were to take the two different worlds, right, the work environment as well as the golf course, and you were just to name or to mention a few skills that you've incorporated in both worlds but are very similar, or let's say some that you've taken out of the golf course and you applied to your role as a transactional banker, and some that you've taken from your role and applied them onto the golf course, but with the main idea of saying that, you know what, at the end of the day, one needs to make sure that we build a relationship on good grounds. You also mentioned, I mean, you get to understand how people behave, which I believe when it
Mm.
comes to relationship building, that's very important. You want to understand what makes the next person tick, what makes them smile as well. So how do you then take the two different worlds and then blend them into one to make sure that they work for you?
Yeah, look, and as I mentioned earlier, it's very important. I think the lesson that I learned from playing with someone are very key in
Mm,
making those decisions whether I want to start, continue, or even sometimes end the relationship.
mm,
I've been able to play with some of my clients, some of my business partners, or even colleagues and my executives, and you get to see people's character and how they react to certain things, the type of jokes, what makes them tick, and you
mhm.
get to even learn more about the people just outside of the office, but in terms of your families and social lives, what do people really enjoy, and that helps you to say in future,
Yeah.
I would know how to engage with this person should I want to get decisions out of them. So for me, I think
Mm,
the the I gather almost insights to say, if I was to give this person an account, or this person was to bank with me and I bring their account over, are they trustworthy?
mm,
Can I trust them? If I go and present in front of my executive or whoever about Tony and balls and tees as a as
mm,
a client, would I be
mm.
uh, 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 convicted and sure that yes, I can bring this account over, and the people that are leading this company are really honorable people, right? So you learn a lot
Mm,
of things out of golf, and I would say there's a lot of things that we do in business in boardrooms that are very valuable.
mhm,
But the
mm,
golf aspect of it brings the social aspect, to say, we hear you, we know
mm,
how you react, how you stand in front of people and address them. But when you are wearing shorts and khakis and you're walking for 4 hours and sometimes having a beer or two, how do you behave? And you know,
Yeah.
there's other things, Tony. Like if I can just give an example, I observe even how people treat caddies. We many
Yeah.
times take a caddy to carry our bag, show us lines, and spot our balls, but you find many people treating caddies horribly and not thinking, when I'm working with you and I'm treating my caddy bad, I tend to
Yeah.
think you would differentiate the two and say no because I'm a fellow player, you'll treat me better. No, for me it's bad in the sense that is a fellow human being. And most of the times you find that these guys are elderly guys, and it doesn't matter that he's carrying your bag. You have no right to try and prove your ego on an innocent person who's out
True.
there looking to make a living, right? So we have to show respect. Respect is very important to your fellow golfers, to people around, whether it's a marshal, whether it's a cart person who's selling drinks on the golf course, or someone even who's selling you used balls. So you have to be very respectful to people that you interact with. So for me, those things then tend to tell me that this is the kind of person that I'm going to be dealing with. Am I ready to bring these people into my circle of friends or circle of business? And can I really trust them? Because you don't want things to happen later in life. And you hear people say, but hey, Modisa, you brought us this person. And you then start having those thoughts to say, Esh, I remember there, man, on the sixth hole, his ball disappeared and he was blaming the caddy, or he missed a putt and he was blaming the caddy for the line, forgetting that he's the player and not the caddy. So it's very important to marry the two, as you say, to say, now that
Yeah.
I've seen how you behave in a relaxed format, when I bring you into a formal business or into a formal type of setting, I know you better and I know what makes you tick and how
Yeah.
you react to different things. Yeah.
I know, 100%. I like how you actually responded to that because, like you said, respect is very important, and it boils down to our African nature as a whole of Ubuntu, to say I am because of you. So you being able to mention that, you know what, regardless of the status, regardless of the age or any other differences that we may have, a human being is a human being, and we need to treat each other in the right manner, which is portraying a sense of respect, portraying a sense of love and all. Now, there's something that I always tell people that Demodisa, to say that golfers have big hearts. Golfers, especially social golfers, let me not say especially because I've not been exposed to professional golfers a lot, but let me say social golfers that I've interacted with over the past couple of years, we've got big hearts, and we golfers are a loving bunch, and there's a lot of things that golfers actually do, or activities that golfers are involved in outside the golf course, but they utilize golf to make sure that they reach those goals. And this brings me to speak about some of the activities that you are involved in, such as literacy for life, and golfing for a purpose through Teleme. So if you can just give us context as to say what is your involvement in those kind of initiatives and what exactly is the goal for those initiatives.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm involved in a few initiatives in golf where we realize that as much as we love the sport, we can use it as a driver to make a change in people's lives, and especially in an African child's life, right? So me and a couple of friends, mostly from home in the Northwest, we've been having a club. We used to call it a social club, where we would collect money out of our own pockets and find, a school or two and go donate maybe 10 pairs, 20 pairs of shoes as and when. I think this goes back a couple of years. But when we started playing golf, we realized that golfing community, it's got a bunch of people who are generous with big hearts, and they want to make an impact. So about 6 years ago, me and my friend Cops decided to say, let us not throw a big party and celebrate our birthdays. And our birthdays happen in
Yeah.
January. So we said, look, you and I, we always celebrate birthdays together, but this time around, let us host a golf day and try and see if we're able to raise funds and use those funds to go make a difference back in the community that really deserve. And that's where it started with the McCare Foundation. So it moved from being a social club of gents just going on trips and hanging around and boozing. We then said, look, we're going to form a formal NPO, which has been registered, and it is called the McCare's Foundation. We've got about a group of about 20 or 18 guys who are helping with different things, right? We've managed to host, like I said, about 6 annual golf days. The golf days started in January, but later on in life, we moved them to around March to accommodate calendars and diaries not to clash. And we have been hosting it for the last few years at Pickenwood, and it's coming up again in March next year in Pickenwood, where we raise funds. And over the last few years, we've been able to make a real impact. I mean, from previously being able to school 10 to 15 kids, now with the generosity of the golfers and sponsors that come on board, with Salem Cares Foundation, on an annual basis, we do reach out to about 100 kids that we buy not only shoes, but shoes, socks, pants, skirts, jerseys, chiffons, and stuff. Various schools in the Northwest, whether it's Rustenburg, Mafikeng, Klerksdorp, Poch, have benefited from us, and we are looking to grow nationally. So, we always post on our social platforms for people to come and support us. So that's good. That is the Cares Foundation. In us hosting our first annual golf day in 2019, we met a good friend who has since left us. His name was Advocate Marupana Moramogolo. So Advocate Maru was very passionate about reading, right? He had stories where, he would run a Comrades Marathon, reading a book. He ran 2 oceans, reading a book, and that sparked interest from the media, and people wanted to know, why is this man reading a book while he's running an ultra marathon, So a year after we established ours, he established a foundation called Literacy for Life. And Literacy for Life basically advances literacy in our previously deprived communities. We build libraries, we build reading hubs, we collect books, pre-loved books or second-hand books that help young kids to get into reading. And because we understand that reading takes you to a different world. So as a young mind, instead of letting the kids run wild, we give them books. We give them access to read about various matters or subjects, and for them to be engaged and for them to dream of a better future. So Literacy for Life has been in existence ever since 2020. Hosted about 5 golf days so far. Started off at our services, military golf club, but we've now moved to Zebula in the Popo. I think that's where you and I last met, where we had quite a lengthy 19th hole after a long day. So literacy, yeah, that's the topic for another day, right? So Literacy for Life is there annually, first week of September. We host our golf day. We've got a number of sponsors that have been partners with us, and we keep on calling for more friends, partners, and associates and people to come. And with Literacy for Life having been established by Advocate Maru, who was a runner and a golfer, you get a lot of his running buddies also participating and helping to raise funds for the foundation through Fat Cats Running Club, which he was part of. But myself and Brakops, I call him Brakops, we are both ambassadors of the Salem Care Foundation, as well as Literacy for Life, raising awareness and making sure that, as much as we love the sport and we spend a lot of our time attending various golf days and supporting the golfing community, we are also making sure that we make a difference in the lives of people who are not as fortunate as you and I. Yep.
No, 100%. 100%. Now, Dr. Modise, before we go to our last break, before our last couple of minutes, would you
Mm.
mind sharing with our audience or our listeners contact details, or yeah, contact details for both the Care Foundation as well as Literacy for Life? Because for me, I find it very useless for people to be under one room enjoying themselves while somebody else is out there suffering, or like you said, being less fortunate. So if there's a lot of social golfers out here in South Africa. I mean, there's over 400,000 social golfers in South Africa, and I would really, really like to believe that majority of them are involved in other initiatives whatsoever. But if there's someone out there who'd like to extend our hand to say, you know what, we really, really want to be involved in Literacy for Life or with the Care Foundation, how can we then make our contribution or make sure that we are a part of that organization and make a difference or an impact in society? How do we then reach out to you guys?
Yeah, so we are available on social platforms, but mainly your Instagram. So on Instagram,
Mm-hmm,
if you search for Tseleme Cares Foundation, so it's TSELEME Cares,
mm-hmm,
CARES Foundation, Tseleme Cares Foundation. You'll
mm-hmm,
find us there. Our contact details are there. You are able to, ping us, inbox us, DM us. We can share the details with you. Uh, and
mm-hmm,
then my handle is at re_Modise. So at RRE_Modise, MODISE. That's my handle. You are always able to reach out to me. I can guide you. Brakops,
mm.
my partner, his details are also, and I want to get his handle so that I don't get it wrong. He is Brakops. He is Brakops on Instagram. So you find him at Lekopane, at
Mm,
LEKOPANE on Instagram.
mm-hmm.
So that's the Tseleme Cares Foundation. So like I said, both myself and Brakops are the ambassadors for Tseleme Cares Foundation. And Literacy for
Yeah.
Life, if you go onto Instagram and you search for Literacy for Life, you find it there.
Mm-hmm,
So it's Literacy for number 4 and
mm-hmm,
Life, LIFE. That's where you find them as a nonprofit organization. And Literacy
mm,
has got a number that you are able to contact, and their number
mm-hmm,
is 079
mm-hmm,
888 7877. 7877, and they are always willing
mm,
to come to you, because we collect books at Literacy. We've got
yeah.
patrons and soldiers on the ground to drive to wherever
Mm-hmm,
you are to collect those secondhand books. And we always say, make them leisure books and not your curriculum,
mm,
a book that kids study at school. Just make it leisure
yeah.
books, books for reading for fun, because the idea is to encourage kids to read socially about different subject, and just to open up their world. So we collect books from toddlers all the way to grown ups. So whatever book you have, so obviously they should be children friendly. We will come and collect those books, and what we then do on an annual basis, we go out and donate these books at various reading hubs and literacy hubs across the country. And
Mm-hmm.
when you go into the social platforms, you can see all the events that we've hosted, as well as our upcoming events, so that you can then participate by joining and contributing towards the good cause that we're trying to drive here. All right.
Awesome stuff. Awesome, awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Those are the contact details for Literacy for Life and Telemachess Foundation. We're just going for another 2 minute break, and then when we come back, we're going to wrap it up. There's so much that I can discuss with Mr. Modise. If it wasn't for time, I mean, we were just gonna go on for so long, but I want to come back and then rattle him up a bit with some fun, exciting questions, and then from there we can close it up, and we can all start getting into the jolly mood of the festive season. So let's go for the 2 minute break. When we come back, we'll be wrapping it up. And I hope Mr. Modisa will be prepared for the questions that I have for him. They're going to be very, very quick, brief questions. But yeah, let's see how quick he thinks on his feet.
Looking forward to it.
Ntate Modisa, o bona go monate yang mo podcast mo.
Ke a utlwa go monate. Ke a utlwa go monate. You know, it's just that and I can't wait for the podcast to go live. Ke ikutlwele, I never really listen to myself.
No.
But
It's
yeah,
already
looking forward to the podcast tomorrow.
the minute ba fetsa ka di-edits.
Yeah, remember we almost spent the whole night talking there at Zebula. We forgot. I even forgot that I had to sleep because I had a game in the morning. I was like a zombie.
But
I
did
played
you
well.
actually play the following day?
I did.
I
got better with I will with you, man.
No, but you know, good company is all we need in life, and good conversations. I always say, you know, if you're having good conversations with people, you will not even see time, or you'll not even feel the fatigue that goes with time.
Yep, no, for sure, definitely.
Fun questions, very, very quick. Nothing too serious, and then yeah, we can wrap it up from there.
Okay, all right.
Tato, will guide us.
Included them. But it's fine. Let's hear.
Yeah, some are there.
Okay, sure.
In about 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are still tuned into the one and only Balls and Tees. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last episode for the year 2025, and it has been beautiful. It has been wonderful. I don't want to lie. 2025 has been a year of surprises. I mean, for the first time in history, Pretoria experienced hail so thick it felt like snow. So a lot of things have been happening in 2025, but let me tell you something, the year 2026 is going to be beautiful, and I would like each one of you to please stay safe during this festive season. Make sure that you stay healthy, you stay safe, spend time with your family. Then when we come back in January, we're going to have a lot of fun, because I don't even want to spill the beans, but I can tell you there's going to be a lot of changes happening here with us on Balls and Tees, and we're going to have a lot of exciting guests as well. So let me not keep my guest waiting for too long. Mr. Modisa is still on the line. He's waiting for us. I told him that right now we are closing the show, and I want us to close it on a bang. So I'm going to confuse this man so much that he won't be able to answer anything. Remedies, are you still with me?
I'm here. I'm worried a bit, but look, I'm always up for fun and a good time. Let's do it.
No. I'm just kidding. It's nothing serious. It's very, very simple, straight to the point questions. But let's try to make them fun and make them speed questions, right? So you'll tell me when you're ready, if I can start asking.
No, go for it. Go for the shoot, man.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Favorite course in Gauteng?
Gauteng. I would say Rand Park, Firethorn especially.
Okay. Worst course ever played?
Sure, the old what is that prison golf course? That prison golf course was horrible. What is the prison golf course there by Midrand? Leeuwkop, when it was still operating. I never enjoyed that course.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm getting close.
Favorite professional player at the moment?
Sure, that's a tough one. Look, I love Tiger Woods, all-time favorite ever since I was a kid. So So for me, Tiger. The guy who's currently playing and dominating, Scotty Scheffler. I love his demeanor. I love how he approaches golf and life, and that's my guy. Yeah, Scotty Scheffler.
Okay. Now, best professional tournament that you'd rather spend the day watching?
Phew. I'll say the Masters at Augusta. I'll spend the whole 4 days. I'll take leave even for Thursday and Friday.
You know, for some reason, I knew Masters was coming up on this one.
Oh, Masters, we know it's our dream, everyone, and I hope I get to experience just walking those lawns there at Augusta one day. Yeah, gotta work hard to make it happen. Yeah.
All right, now, this one is going to be a tricky one. I'm not sure if you've experienced Live Golf, but I'm going to ask you, Live Golf or DSTV Delicious?
No. Look, I would say live. You know, live. When you watch the games, they've got a lot of music playing in the background, so you get a bit of delicious there, but you also get a lot of golf. So I would say live golf. Yeah.
All right. Now, this one, I really, really want to confuse you with this one, right?
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to ask you about certain brands when it comes to golf equipment. Titleist, Nike, or Callaway?
Titleist.
Strixon or Titleist?
Titleist.
Okay.
Remember, Nike is no longer in golf equipment, so it doesn't. If you still play Nike clubs, I think it's about time you get a replacement, my guy. You are a few years behind with technology.
Yeah.
Awesome
stuff. Now, this is the one. This
He
is
never
the one for
mentioned
the
TaylorMade, though, by the way, and I prefer TaylorMade over Titleist. Well, TaylorMade clubs and Titleist balls, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, no. TaylorMade clubs are beautiful. I love them as well. They're nice. They've got a nice feel. Like you don't even feel the ball, the club.
Exactly.
You feel the ball. You just feel that rubber go.
Exactly.
All right.
The best.
Now, this is a tough one. This one is for the records, remedies. This one is for the records, right?
Okay.
PGA Tour or balls and tees?
Look, of course, I mean, you're putting me in a corner here, but balls and tees, you know, all the time. This is run by my friends, the people I interact with on a daily basis to grow the game. I mean, PGA is well matured, but balls and tees, the world is your oyster. I know you guys are going to do great things. So I definitely will choose balls and tees because I want to grow with you as a partner and a friend and make sure that, you know, I witness this growth and I can say, I know this young man from a very long time ago, you know.
Awesome. You know, if you had said PGA, I was going to say let's end this interview with immediate effect. But I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But Mr. Moody said it has been such an honor and a pleasure hosting you. But you know how we work here at Balls and Tees. We can't let you go without you sharing something sentimental with our audience. I mean, it's festive season. Unfortunately, four provinces right now in South Africa are going under a lot of stress due to thunderstorms and flooding and all these things. So it's a very busy time of the year. And if you could just share your inputs or give inputs with regards to the festive season as well as to those who want to get into the game and have been confused all along, going from pillar to post, not knowing exactly where to start or how to start. So please honor us and give us our daily bread today.
Yeah, no, look, I think if I just start with the last piece of your question, talking about people who are looking to join golf, I think, look, the time is always now, right? Don't waste any more time. Golf is a beautiful sport. You'll realize that once you start getting yourself into, it's got a great number of people with good hearts, people who are just about playing and making a difference. So many people always find barriers to say, it's an expensive sport, it's not accessible, the equipment is expensive. But I say to them, look, just spend time with golfers. You'll realize that it's not as expensive as you think. I mean, I bought my first set of clubs many years ago. I think I spent less than 2,000. I've got a friend of mine who I sent to go buy second-hand clubs at a pawn shop. He came back with a good-looking set, an old second-hand or third-hand set, which he still uses. So, if you really want to do and join sport, you can join. You don't have to really be, an expensive spender, but you can get affordable stuff and join it. And for new beginners, spend time on the range. Get a professional to teach you the basics of golf, and don't rush to get yourself onto the golf course. Just make sure you understand the basics. You can hit the ball straight, it goes. You know what is the difference between a driver and a putter and a wedge, and it's a beautiful sport. Once you get in, you'll make good friends, you'll make good business contacts, and build relationships, and there's no looking back. And I'm just loving how the sport is growing. In South Africa alone, I know so many people who belong to so many golf clubs, whether you are in Mafikeng, in Pretoria, West Pretoria, East, we were playing Secunda the other day with some good golfers that side. So the whole country is flooded with us social golfers. So we're always looking to get new members to join the sport and make it big, right? As for the festive, look, this is a good time for family and relaxed time. Many companies will be closing. People will be taking time off to go home to visit the loved ones. So we just want to say, everyone who's going to be on the roads, please travel safely. Take care. There's a lot of excitement around this time of the year. People must just take it easy, relax, and have good, clean fun with your loved ones, right? And we pray that as much as we love the rain, we want it because it helps with a lot of things, growth. We just hope that it doesn't really spoil the lives of others who may not be as advantaged, right? Because we know that people are going to be on the roads, those who will be driving and taking public transport. We pray and hope that this time around there aren't any accidents that we'll be hearing of. People will make it home safely to see their loved ones and make it back to Gauteng or wherever you are working. Make it back to go and continue with your vocation. So, to you guys, balls and tees, Tony. Hope you're going to go see them there at Mabiskral. And every one of you guys, please make sure you spend time with your loved ones. And spending time with loved ones is not money, guys. Some people avoid going home or seeing people thinking that it's money. It's not money. Your presence means a lot. People seeing you, hugging you, touching you, it makes them feel good. Whether it's family, parents, grandparents, please do make sure that you spend time with those people. So wishing you all the best. And like I said, I mean, I've been watching you guys grow over the longest time, and I can't wait to see you growing bigger and bigger. Next year is going to be big for us. We know that the Live Golf is coming around April to Stain City. We're looking forward to that. Just like this past weekend was a big weekend in South Africa when the Nedbank Golf Challenge was taking place at Sun City. All the golfers were there and having a good time watching the pros do their thing. So we're looking forward to the next one, the Sunshine Tour. We all know that it's also one of our big events that we follow, the tour, the local tour that we follow. So yeah, let's hope that we will see balls and tees participating in those big tournaments and giving the chance to elevate, especially social players, social golfers, right? I always say some of us get lucky to play some of these pro Ams, but many of us social golfers wish we could spend time with pros and playing pro Ams. And I wish that one day these professional tours will make the pros accessible to us, so that it's not only for a select few who can afford it, but any social golfer should be able to say, I've played with so and so, I've managed to learn a lot from them for my golf. So yeah, wishing you guys as balls and tees all the best for the new year, and upwards and forwards, gents. Let's get it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ramodisa. And please, like you said, this is a good time to spend time with family. Please do take time off, rest, spend time with your family, travel safe, and continue playing this addictive sport. And then we really, really appreciate your words of wisdom, especially to those who want to get into the sport, and your prayers for everybody else who will be traveling around. Please, let's make sure that we all travel safe. And thank you once again for wishing Balls and Tees the best. We hope and we really, really believe that it's high time that social golfers are put on the map, and what better way than through balls and tees. So, with that being said, Dr. Marise, I just want to say once again, thank you so much, and
Thanks again.
may you have not just a lovely evening, but a lovely festive season with your family. And then I'm looking forward to seeing you next year when we come back. We are coming back with a bang. I hope to play with you next year, the first or second week of January. I want us to be on the golf course. Although I'm not such a good golfer, I'm very good at speaking, but not so good at golfing.
No, no problem, man. We call ourselves a Machai, all of us. We enjoy playing golf and learning from each other. So thank you so much for
Mhm,
giving me the platform. I really appreciate the vote of confidence and looking forward to playing more golf with you guys, all of you, the team. And yeah, let's grow the game.
mhm.
Thank you so much, guys.
Oh, awesome stuff, Mr. Modise. Have yourself a lovely evening. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our episode today. Like I said, this is the last episode of the year, and you heard it from the man himself. That is your daily bread. Please, every day when you wake up, remember those ways to say, whatever it is I'm doing through this period, let it be based around safety and spending time with family. It's not about you spending money, it's just about your presence. Your presence means a lot to your loved ones. Your loved ones' presence means a lot to you. So let's make sure that we go out there, we have safe fun with our friends and families, and even those we don't even consider our friends. Let us show love everywhere we go. Let's bring in more golfers into the social golfing space. Let's make sure that we grow the sport worldwide, not just nationwide, worldwide. And for the professional tournaments that's coming through next year, watch out. Balls and Tees is coming out as well because we want to be a part of big things as well. We want our social golfers to be a part of the entire golf movement. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the one and only Tony Tone, the magician, the boy with a lot of flair, the classic man. If you're waking tomorrow, please drop all the tools. It is December, boss. Festive season. December 1. So make sure that you drop all the tools and go and have safe fun. But if you're playing on Friday, please come to my house. Let's discuss this thing. I'd rather have you spend time with me on the golf course than doing other things. Ladies and gentlemen, balls and tees signing out. We will see you in 2026. Have a great festive season. Enjoy yourselves and come back safe.